Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. The afternoon sun poured into my modest office, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air, as if mocking the dreariness of my mood. I was sitting behind my desk, papers strewn about, when my old friend, Marcus, walked in. His expression was somber, a stark contrast to his usual jovial demeanor. "Jake, we need to talk," Marcus said, closing the door behind him softly, yet firmly enough to signal the seriousness of our conversation. I straightened up, instantly alert. "What's going on? Is everything all right with the family?" He hesitated, running a hand through his graying hair. "It's not about my family, Jake. It's about Claire." At the mention of my wife's name, my stomach tightened. "What about her?" Marcus took a deep breath and pulled out his phone. "I didn't want to be the one to show you this, but I figured it's better coming from a friend." He handed me his phone. On the screen was a video playing silently. It took a few seconds before the reality of what I was watching hit me. Claire, my wife of 5 years, was in the back seat of a cab, her actions unmistakably intimate with the driver. I don't understand. How did you get this?" My voice sounded foreign to my ears, hollow and distant. "It's from a cab company I do some tech work for. They keep footage for security. I was doing routine checks when he trailed off, his discomfort palpable. The room spun slightly as I tried to process the betrayal. Why would she? How long has this been going on?" "I don't know, Jake. I'm sorry." Marcus looked down, his face etched with sympathy and discomfort. Anger and hurt welled up inside me, chasing each other in a vicious cycle. I felt broken, shattered by the woman I trusted most. The silence stretched between us, filled only by the low hum of my computer. After a long moment, I found my voice again. "I need to get back at her, Marcus. I can't let this go." Marcus nodded slowly, understanding my pain. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to make sure she regrets this. I'll file for divorce first thing tomorrow. And I'll make sure she gets nothing from me. Not a single dime. And after that?" I paused, the seeds of a plan beginning to form in my mind, fueled by my swirling emotions. "I'll disappear. Start over. Maybe move out of the city. She won't find me or see me ever again." Marcus reached out, placing a hand on my shoulder. "If you need anything at all, you know I'm here, right?" I nodded, grateful for his support yet feeling the weight of solitude closing in. "Thanks, Marcus. I just need some time to think about my next steps." As Marcus left, I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. The betrayal was a bitter pill to swallow, and revenge seemed like the only remedy. My heart raced as I envisioned the ruin I would bring upon Claire, a ruin she had brought upon herself. The video replayed in my mind, each frame a sharp jab to my heart, but with it came a dark resolution. This was only the beginning. Claire had chosen her fate the moment she decided to betray me, and I, in turn, had chosen mine. The crisp morning air is laced with the acrid scent of burning leaves as I stride determinedly towards the office of Elena Harper, my attorney. I had only met her once before when my business needed legal advice, but her sharp intellect and no-nonsense demeanor had left an impression. Elena's office is sleek and modern, a stark contrast to the turmoil brewing within me. Her assistant, a young man with a keen eye and a sharper suit, greets me at the door. "Mr. Reynolds, Ms. Harper is expecting you. Please, follow me." We weave through a maze of glass-walled offices until we reach Elena's. She stands as we enter, her handshake firm. "Jake, good to see you again, though I wish it were under better circumstances," she says, motioning for me to sit. "Thank you, Elena. I appreciate you seeing me on such short notice," I reply, settling into the chair across from her desk. She nods, her expression serious. "Marcus briefed me on the situation. I've begun drafting the initial divorce papers. Given the evidence, we have a strong case for infidelity, which will certainly aid in the proceedings. I nod, the knot in my stomach tightening. I want to ensure she doesn't get anything from me. Not after what she did. Elena's eyes meet mine, unflinching. I'll do everything in my power to protect your interests. However, it's crucial we handle this delicately to avoid any backlash that might affect your business or personal reputation. Understood, I say, though the thought of Claire getting away with a clean slate makes my blood boil. As we discuss the logistics, a soft knock interrupts us. Elena's assistant peeks in. Sorry to interrupt, but there's a Detective Allen here to see you, Mr. Reynolds. He says it's urgent. Curiosity piqued, I stand. I'll handle this, Elena. We can wrap this up afterward. Outside, a middle-aged detective with a weathered face that spoke of years in the field waits. He extends his hand. Mr. Reynolds, I'm Detective Allen. I'm investigating a matter that indirectly involves you. Oh. What kind of matter? I ask, wary of the implications. It's about the cab driver in the video. He's missing, and his last known interaction was apparently with your wife, Claire. Shock courses through me. Missing? That couldn't be a coincidence. Do you think she's involved? That's what we're trying to figure out. Any information you could provide might be helpful, he says, his gaze sharp. I consider for a moment, the pieces of an intricate puzzle beginning to fall into place. You can have full access to anything you need. If Claire is involved, I want to know. Detective Allen nods, jotting down notes. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. We might need more from you later. As he leaves, the weight of his words sinks in. Claire's betrayal was one thing, but being linked to a missing person. That was something entirely different. Returning to Elena's office, I'm more resolved than ever. Let's proceed with the divorce. It's just the beginning, Elena. There's more at play here, and I intend to find out what. Elena looks at me, a flicker of concern in her eyes, but she nods, her professional resolve clear. We'll prepare for all possibilities, Jake. Let's get started. The city is quiet at dusk, shadows stretching long and thin across damp streets. I'm pacing in my living room when my phone buzzes. It's Marcus. Jake, we need to meet. There's more you need to know, he says, urgency tinging his voice. Where? I ask, already grabbing my keys. The old cafe on 5th. It's quiet this time of night. Minutes later, I'm there, the familiar bell chiming as I push through the door. Marcus is already seated in a dim corner, a steaming cup of coffee in front of him. His eyes are grave as I sit down. Thanks for coming, Jake. I didn't want to talk about this over the phone, he begins, lowering his voice. I've been doing some digging since, the video. I lean in, my interest piqued. What did you find? It's not just about the cab driver or the affair, he says, glancing around before continuing. I checked into Claire's finances. There's a series of large withdrawals over the last few months. Big sums, far beyond anything for personal use. A chill runs down my spine. Where's the money going? That's the thing. It's being funneled through a shell company. But here's the kicker, the company is linked to some shady characters. Ones with criminal records. The cafe's clattering fades into the background as his words sink in. Are you telling me Claire is involved with criminals? It looks like it. And with the cab driver missing, this could be bigger than we thought, Marcus says, his expression tense. My mind races, piecing together the betrayal and the danger it might pose. We need to go to the police with this. If she's in trouble, or causing it, it needs to be stopped. Marcus nods in agreement. I think you should also talk to Detective Allen again. He needs to know this. We part ways, and I head straight to the precinct, my resolve hardening. Detective Allen greets me in his office, his brow furrowing as I relay what Marcus discovered. This complicates things, Allen admits, tapping his pen against the desk. If your wife is tied up with criminals, it might explain the cab driver's disappearance. We need to tread carefully. Can you protect her if she's in danger? The concern for Claire surprises me, tangled up as it is with my feelings of betrayal. We'll do what we can. I'll assign a team to look into the shell company and keep an eye on your wife, Allen assures me. Leaving the precinct, the city lights blur before my eyes, reflecting my tumultuous thoughts. The woman I vowed to cherish could be a criminal, or in danger, or both. My next steps are unclear, but one thing is certain, I must unravel this mystery, for my safety and perhaps for Claire's too. The rain drums relentlessly against the windowpanes of my dimly lit office, mirroring the turmoil inside me. It's been 2 weeks since my meeting with Detective Allen, and the pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together. A meeting that promises to end everything one way or another has been set for tonight. I'm staring into the darkness when my phone vibrates sharply against the oak desk. It's Detective Allen. Jake, we need to meet now. It's about Claire and that shell company. Can you come to the precinct? Give me 20 minutes, I reply, my voice steadier than I feel. The precinct is buzzing with tension when I arrive. Allen ushers me into a stark interrogation room. He's not alone, beside him stands a woman I don't recognize, her badge shining under the fluorescent lights. This is Agent Ramirez from the FBI, he introduces. She's been leading the investigation into the criminal activities connected to the shell company. Ramirez steps forward, her gaze sharp. Mr. Reynolds, we've uncovered significant evidence linking your wife not only to financial crimes but also to a larger network involved in laundering money. However, there's a twist. A twist? I echo, my pulse quickening. Yes, Ramirez continues. It appears Claire was coerced into these activities. We have evidence suggesting she was blackmailed with information that could destroy her family, her parents, to be precise. The room spins slightly as I absorb her words. Blackmailed? Claire was a victim too. Allen takes over. We intercepted communications between Claire and the head of the operation. She tried to extricate herself when she realized the depth of the criminal activities, but they threatened her family's safety. So, the affair, the cab driver. I stammer, my thoughts chaotic. That was staged, Allen reveals. They set her up to make it look like an affair to keep you distracted and to provide leverage over her if needed. My heart feels like it's being squeezed in a vice. All this time, the hate, the betrayal, I had it all wrong. We're bringing her in for protection tonight, and with her testimony, we can bring down this network, Ramirez adds. I nod, numb. Can I see her? They hesitate, then agree. Briefly, Allen concedes. Hours later, I'm standing in a small, secure room as Claire is brought in. Her appearance shocks me, she looks worn, her eyes haunted. Claire, I start, unsure of everything. Jake, I'm so sorry, she whispers, tears spilling over. I never wanted any of this. I tried to protect my family, and I couldn't tell you without endangering them more. I understand if you can't forgive me. Listening to her, the pieces of my shattered heart rearrange into something new, something uncertain but wanting to understand. We talk, the air between us filled with hurt and revelations. When it's time to part, something inside me has shifted. The hatred I felt has burned down, leaving behind only ash and regret. Claire, I wish things were different, I say finally. So do I, she replies, a faint smile touching her lips, sad and knowing. As she walks away, escorted by an agent, I realize this is the last time I will see her. Our paths diverge here, in the shadow of our ruined dreams, forever altered by deception and coercion. Leaving the precinct, the rain has stopped, leaving the air fresh and crisp. A new beginning awaits, built not on revenge but on the painful lessons of forgiveness and the harsh truths of love entangled with crime.